Hey, it's attorney Jim Desmond, Desmond Law Office. As you know, I only do car wrecks in Kentucky and Indiana. I want to do a quick video on a section that we have just added to my website as well. The short story, I met with a client yesterday and she had some concerns about attorney fees, and it kind of inspired me to do this one section of my website that talks about the pitfalls of attorney fees and contingency fees specifically when it comes to being a lawyer and a car wreck attorney. Let me explain. Most car wreck attorneys, what we do is we charge you a percentage of what we recover. Okay, you don't owe us anything unless we recover something. In my case, I charge you 1/3 of what I recover. Okay, 40% if it ever goes to a lawsuit, but I talk to my clients well in advance about that and tell them this is why lawsuits needed. So let's talk about the new section that I put on the website that says, okay, well, what about your attorney and the pitfalls you got to avoid with when deciding who you're going to hire as an attorney when you're hiring them on a basis of a contingency fee. So again, with a contingency fee, step number one, it's negotiable. There's no law in the US or anywhere else that says we have to charge this fee or charge that fee. I won't negotiate up front, okay? I reserve the right to do it at the end to make sure my clients are happy, to make sure my clients come out with a fair settlement. But do not ever think it's set in stone. It is negotiable, okay? Number two, the other section talks about this 40% attorney's fee that the big firms, I can tell you 2 large TV advertisers in Louisville are charging right off the bat for a car wreck case as soon as you walk in the door. That's ridiculous. Get up, walk out. You shouldn't be paying it. And let me explain why. This is the part you guys aren't thinking about. You got 100% of your settlement. You got the case settled. You got 100%, right? Take off 40%. You're already at 60%. Now you got their expenses, okay? Every firm's different on what they charge back, but you got their expenses, potentially litigation expenses as well. And in addition to that, you surely probably have a health insurance lien to deal with as well, okay? So the point of being all that, we started at 60%, now we're going down even lower. So you might, right off the bat, when you walk into this big firm, be in a situation where even if your recovery is good down the road, you get a good personal injury settlement, well, 50% or more could theoretically be taken and go toward everybody else. That's right off the bat. That's why I'm like, why start at 40%? It's insane. It's stupid. Don't do it, okay? Medical malpractice cases, nursing home neglect, different area, maybe it's justified. Car wreck cases, that's what I do. I know it's not justified. The other points I wanted to make to you guys real quick, I gotta remind myself of my notes. Oh, your medical bills. Okay, so you all are worried that we charge fees off medical bills, and we kind of do. In other words, when we get a personal injury offer, when we get a personal injury settlement offer more correctly, they don't separate it out and say, okay, this is past medical bills, this is future medical bills, this is, these things. They say, here's $50,000, period, okay, based upon your client's damages. My point to you is that your attorney, and I've said this 1,001 times, guys, and listen to this, your attorney, it's not just how much I get you with the right hand, it's how much I keep people out of your settlement with the left hand, okay? So is your attorney doing what they can to minimize the medical bills? Case in point, I've been doing this for about 20 years in Louisville, Kentucky. I have about, I'll say 3 to 5 regular medical providers, doctors, chiropractors that give out my name pretty regularly, and I appreciate that, okay? I appreciate the fact that they keep my firm going. But my duty is to you as my client to give you the best settlement I can give you. So that means even if they gave you my name, I'm still going to call them and say, hey, I know you got this $3,000 balance. Will you take $2,000? Will you take $1,500? Whatever is required by the settlement. Because again, the more money I can get them to take less of, okay, the more you're going to put in your pocket. And yes, I go on to the next client. They go on to the next patient. We can take the hit and move on. Again, we want to make you guys happy. You guys have a lot of choices these days when it comes to personal injury attorneys. So make sure your attorney is doing what he can to work on your behalf. The other part, there's one other quick note I want to make here. When you guys are in a car wreck, don't wait to call. I'm serious. Cell phone, it comes directly to me, and you guys say, why? And it's like, well, this is the issue. Kentucky's a no-fault state. Indiana's a med-pay state. Either one of those kind of coverages, they're on your own automobile insurance, can provide some coverage to cover your medical bills, okay? Let me give you an example I used on my website. If you go to the emergency room and you got a $30,000 bill and your no-fault coverage is $10,000, the hospital comes in and they take the $10,000 if you don't do things right. They take the $10,000, you still got a $20,000 balance that's going to have to go to your health insurance, and your health insurance is going to assert a lien against that settlement and say, hey, we want our money back. Well, how about doing it this way? This is how I like to try to do it. in that scenario. It doesn't always work, but boy, when it works, it's beautiful. You got that $30,000 bill. You reserve your $10,000 in no-fault coverage, right? If you can get the emergency room bill to be paid by your health insurance, you see through this all the time through your explanation of benefits, they might lower it to say $5,000. They might pay the hospital $5,000 to satisfy it, okay? Yes, you have to deal with that health insurance lien for that $5,000, but what did you do? You just saved $25,000 if you think about it. So you got $10,000 in no-fault insurance. You now go tell your no-fault carrier, hey, pay back my health insurance lien, and they can do that, okay? So now you've got that medical bill taken care of, you got the health insurance lien taken care of, and you got $5,000 left over for copays and deductibles. So as much as I understand as a consumer, you all want to think about, is a fee being charged off my medical bills? The bigger issue is, what is your personal injury attorney doing to minimize those medical bills and the effect they have on your personal injury settlement? That's the bigger issue, okay? It's a little bit more indirect. They should be trying to negotiate down directly with medical providers. They should be using your health insurance to reduce the medical bills, and they should be preserving your no-fault or med pay coverage right off the bat, and that gives you another source to recover from. So, this is one of my longer videos lately, but, again, it's such a crucial area, and I think there's so much you all don't understand about attorney fees. And if your attorney's not explaining this stuff or doing this stuff for you, why are you guys calling these big firms again? I just shake my head at it. I know when I lose it to another good firm in town, that's one thing. But when I lose them to the big firms that just have these factories set up, I just shake my head at it and say, because they're not giving you the customer service you need. And that's the whole point when it comes to things like I'm just talking about with those attorney fees and reducing your medical bills. You can't do that if you can't get hold of your attorney. So on that note, let's call it a day and tell you again that my cell phone's below. And yes, I answer it directly. You're not going to a paralegal or secretary, and I'm not going to ask you 20 questions, to give you answers. So if you've been in any kind of car wreck and you need a legal advice, in Kentucky or Indiana, I'm not licensed in other states. My office is in Louisville, Kentucky. My cell phone's 502-609-7657. Pick up the phone, give me a call. Let's talk about it and go from there. You all have a great day. Take care.